Hi, welcome back to, who knows, I think we're on episode, let's see here, let me consult, see where we are. It's been a while. Episode 7, okay.
If our friends here wish to join us on our little cruise, so much the better.
And welcome to the boss battle here. This is the first, I guess, really big boss fight. Okay, the Tinkerer was the first big boss fight, but this is going to be the last section of the first part of this game. And we have Lucia von Bardas attacking New York kind of randomly in revenge for the damage done to Latveria. We saw this stuff build up in the previous episodes. This is why there was kind of weird activity going on in New York, and she's doing it with these cannons, and she's got a cyborg body, and so we have to destroy the cannons, and as we destroy them,
Turn those buildings into rubble. Yes, madam.
she'll pull out a villain that was inside, and now we've got to fight him too. So there's Wizard. We're going to run into some more repeat mini bosses from earlier in the stage, but you can kind of ignore them to an extent. Focus on the cannons themselves. They are the more important objective. So now Scorcher is loose. I've got 2 fusion moves saved up here, so probably we're going to look to do a targeted fusion on one of the mini bosses when they're vulnerable, as soon as we disable all 4 of the cannons. Okay, I think I just got hit. Nope. There we go. We're targeting a couple of the villains before they, before they get sucked into the next thing of the fight there. And we're going to go and do that again.
No, seriously.
I think it got broken up. We still have up, and we just lost Spidey. We do have 2 heals. We can go get him back, and I did. Okay, going for another targeted fusion. Again, you've got to pick the. You got to pick somebody who's not shielded. Like Scorcher was shielded there, so we couldn't target him. We had to target the other character.
Says I'm gonna die.
About to lose Spidey again, so we're going to use another one of the healing things, and
Looks like it might
we
be
need to
nap time.
quickly build up our fusion meter if we want to be able to heal more in the future. We only have 1 thing left. We also kind of need to look out for the other things. I think we just knocked out Diamondback. Scorcher doesn't have a lot of health left up there. So I'm just going to try to stay out of the way. Now we got, I think Wizard is the guy who keeps bouncing around here, but it's really hard to tell given the but that looks to be right. And again, obviously if I was doing this on a more regular basis, I would be a little more in tune to what's going on as far as who's who. Because we did fight Wizard earlier, so there's no real reason for me to have forgotten. If you're watching these in order and you're like, wait a minute, how do you forget who Wizard was? I'll point out that this is February 8th of 2020, and this game footage might be from 2017. I don't remember. So looks like we're gonna, if we lose Spider-Man now, we're gonna lose him for good because we don't have any more healing. Okay, he's down. We're very close to another fusion attack. So I'm gonna switch over to Iron Man again to try to utilize a distance range character. But it's going to be really important to get another fusion attack off so that we can attempt to revive Spider-Man or at least heal somebody else on the team here. You know, that's why we've got two brawling types. Okay, so we got team up move between Iron Man and Luke Cage. We're still fighting Wizard here. Now we got Tony on low health. Not a good place to be. Now Tony's down, so now it's all up to Luke Cage and Wolverine. Now I'm switching to Wolverine specifically because Wolverine has a healing factor. He will slowly regain his health over time. And I just healed up Spider-Man. And we're now going after... I guess we're still going after Wizard. Up, and you know, you've got Bardas bothering the stage. There's also some stage hazards I think that you guys have seen, because I've run into them enough times. Alright, so we finally knocked out the last of the mini-bosses. So this brings us to the actual boss act here. So now we're going to fight Bardas. The problem is that she's going to utilize the other supervillains basically as batteries to fuel her power.
Oh no! This is it!
And basically turn herself into a giant bomb when the time comes. Now, what happens is that one of the characters will become undefended by her shielding at a time, and you just have to hope that you can do enough damage while they're not protected to activate, you know, to bring on the next phase of the fight. So, yeah, and then you hit Bardas. Now she's kind of unhittable. We brought back Tony. So now we're going to knocking out Diamondback. Alright, and that'll bring Bardas back so we can beat on her again. I'm staying as Wolverine for the time being simply because we got a lot of people who get knocked down. I just need the extra healing. Will be fine. Also, yeah. Now I'm gonna try to knock out Scorcher. Okay, he's now invincible. Okay, now he's loose again. Alright. So one more time we're gonna jump in on Bardas. Targeted fusion there, not the fastball special specifically, but kind of related to that, getting Wolverine slung around by another character. Right, and then we just need to get rid of Wizard and we'll be done with the last of her little batteries. And then we can actually get to the end of this fight. And we've got, there's a countdown timer because she blows up and takes New York with her if you don't defeat her before her bomb goes off. For her purposes, it probably wasn't the best way to do a bomb, but there you go. And there's Latveria, just in case you're ever curious as to where that is or was. I'm not really sure I mean, I'm guessing Latveria has been there, but technically that's supposed to be a border between Latveria and Simcaria. Of course, I did not see Simcaria on that particular map. But we're setting up things here. So we've lost Nick Fury because of his mistake in the blowback that was created. We're introducing Maria Hill, who isn't her MCU version, at least not yet. She's closer to her comic book counterpart.
Steve. I have suspected we weren't sanctioned.
You have suspected? Nice of you to say so at the time.
Given a choice between Fury and the government, who are you gonna trust?
Tough call. That's why I didn't even ask you to make it.
It's just sort of interesting with this scene here, because, again, you're 1 year after the movie Iron Man.
Colonel Fury.
Nick Fury in this is still white, so they haven't bothered to make an effort to change that. There's not even an alternate costume for him where he could be Sam Jackson in gameplay. Captain America sort of sounds like David Kane, but I mean, he's never voiced by, but I don't know a time when David Kane voiced Captain America. Just that's the impression I get. I don't even know if it's him in this game. Maybe I'll look that up between episodes. And obviously, the Iron Man character isn't quite trying to do a Robert Downey Jr. impression yet. So it's just, I mean, at least in the way the voice sounds. Not necessarily, I think the way he...
I'm sure you got plenty of backups, old man.
You know, the tones aren't necessarily wrong, but he doesn't sound like Robert Downey Jr. And you get a lot of that in the later games that feature Iron Man as a character, like, you know, Marvel versus Capcom Infinite,
We can plan our next move at the
and those things. But hey, we managed to go an entire episode just talking about gameplay for once, after the last handful had been about what Marvel was going to do in Phase 4 and 5. And we might get back to those topics next time, or if things stay interesting, we might stay here. And we'll probably even have